Wisdom Exchange TV. Hello, my name is Suzanne F Stevens, Chief Edge Optimizer for the Ignite Excellence Group of Initiatives. One of our initiatives is the Ignite Excellence Foundation. Our goal is to invest, inspire, and develop future women leaders in emerging countries. And that was the catalyst also for Wisdom Exchange TV, which is a forum where we inspire future women leaders in Africa to learn, lead, and succeed in life, business, and community. This is an education site where you'll learn strategies and tactics from leading ladies all over Africa in regards to leadership lessons as well as their area of expertise. It is a forum where women and men of all disciplines will learn from the change agents of Africa in politics, philanthropy, education, and business. Please join us on the Facebook fan page of Suzanne F Stevens because we update regularly who will be featured in the next coming weeks, and also we want to hear from you who you would like us to interview. We are in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania with our leading lady, Margareth Chacha, Managing Director of Tanzania Women's Bank. Here's a very special woman because the Tanzanian Bank was one of the first women banks, well it was in Tanzania, one of the first in East Africa. So this is a woman we'll definitely learn from because she opened the doors. So nice to meet you, Margaret.
Thank you very much.
You know,
you're most welcome to Tanzania.
Thank you. Thank you. I have been here before, but this is the first, I love it here. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. And it's so nice to see Tanzania taking such a leading edge in supporting women in business. So let's start with, what was the catalyst for starting the Tanzanian Women Bank in the first place?
You have to understand our country's history. We were socialists. Here you have the government planning for everybody. You have a man planning for a woman. But then, because they couldn't really have the required profile for opening an account in the bank in the first place. They didn't have enough money to have an account in the bank. They couldn't produce more because they couldn't get capital. If you can't open an account, you can't even have. So they said enough is enough. They went to see the president and demanded for the government to open a bank specifically catering for their needs, special needs. The government, the president agreed, and they issued seed capital to have the bank opened. The women are starting to realize they have to roof their head and family, to feed their families, take the families to hospitals, for medical whatever, and also taking kids to school. They don't have to depend on the money anymore. So they are now struggling to produce, to invest, and also to do business.
Now you're referring to also didn't have capital, also didn't have collateral. What does this bank do in regards to how do you get a loan?
This is a need-based bank. It came about because it was demanded by women. We sat down, we had meetings with women, and we tried to understand what makes them think they can't access banking facilities. So we understood that the first enemy is education. Many banks have their papers in English. The minute they get the papers, the women run away because they're intimidated by papers and language. Again, we came to understand it was networking. Most of the banks are asking for referees. An African woman especially who stays at home, they know no one in the market. So how am I going to get a referee to sign for me to open a bank? So they couldn't even open a bank. Again, is the money demanded to open an account. It was too much for the women. Having like $100 at a time, to them it was too much. And we understood again that ownership of assets, women, especially in Africa, they don't have economic active assets. So they have to beg from their husbands or just stay behind, So it's a vicious circle in actual fact. So what we did, we were creative enough to make sure we stay within central bank regulations, but yet encourage the locked out, the women to open accounts. So I should say our services or our bank is unique. because, for instance, education, we knew we have to work around it. So we prepared opening page, very simple. It's one page in both language, English and Swahili. And we allow them to sign by thumb, because if you can't write, just use your thumb. We demanded very minimum requirements for them to open an account. So banking industry have been struggling actually to identify customers. So for us, we said, since women are good voters, we are going to accept voting ID as an ID to open an account. And we know many women are not employed. So we said voting ID, employed, not employed, you have it. And whoever is above 18 years of age could have an account. That's why we are opening more than an average of 50 accounts per day. Because now we made it easy for women to open an account. And also realizing that most women are in informal sector. We allowed informal groups to open an account. Registered or not registered, you can open your accounts, and then we, as a bank, we take these groups slowly to the level of registering and also to have tax-paying documents before we give them loans. So that way we have attracted so many women especially to come forward and open account, because they had given up because they couldn't meet the required requirements. And again, talking about collaterals, we said, okay, if we are really serious trying to help or empowering women, then our bank is special in the way we are running two, principles in one. We have conventional banking, which is the normal banking principles, and also we have a microfinance proper, where we are not only talking of small and big, we are talking of micro, the smallest ones. Of course, many banks are refusing to take those ones because of risk involved. They don't have premises, they don't have enough capital, they are harassed always. But we say if we are serious, we want to empower the women, we have to recognize such groups. So that's why we are very popular, and the banking hall is almost full every day.
Several questions. One being, you also help with microfinance, and you're trying to get people to a registered status so that you give loans.
In groups, using peer pressure groups.
Okay, so the peer social responsible to the peers to pay back.
UNOS module, I think you know it. We are using it, and we are doing very well. In actual fact, groups, the microfinance module is contributing more than 35% to the bank's income than any other product. So now we are, after 2 years of operation experience, we are moving more and more on that. And that's where we meet the segment we are looking for.
What's the default rate or the payback rate on the smaller loans? So how responsible are those groups of women in paying back in a timely fashion?
The groups, if I go quickly, is more than 60% now. Yeah, now we want it to be more than 70%, because we could see that's where our segment is. And the repayment is very, very encouraging. We are having 96% repayment. So we are struggling only with 4%. But they come forward, they always pay. Yeah.
If the group pays, are they allowed more of a loan in the future? Do you escalate that loan, or do you cap it at a certain amount of money?
We did it very creatively, because we said, okay, you group yourselves in 5, and in a group of 40. If you don't appear on that day, every week they meet. If one of them didn't appear, the 5 contribute for her. If the amount is big, then 40 people contribute for that person. Then they are the ones who are going to recover the money from the person. So the bank is not involved. They are very happy about that. Since we started giving 200,000 T shillings, which is around $150, up to say $1,500. In Tanzania shillings, 2 million shillings. They have done so well. Now they have reached, the ones who are really, they are going by ladders. You return, after 6 months we give you another batch. Now they are demanding for more. We went back to the board. Luckily, we were now allowed to give up to 5 million Tanzania shillings, which is around like $4,000. Yeah? So that's, we could see the demand is there, and they really like it. And we have success stories, very many of them.
What's been the biggest challenge growing the bank? You have 52 employees now and growing. It sounds like lots going to happen in the near future.
It's the capital. Because I've been in the banking industry for a long time, but this is my first time seeing a bank overwhelmed by demand. We are opening so many accounts. Now we need to have more outlets, more points, but we can't because of limited capital. So to me, I'm like, I wish I could afford having even 10 branches in a month, but I can't. And since we are dealing with numbers, the more we park people in these small premises, then it's going to negate our effort. But we are popular, we are trusted, and we are very happy.
So how would you overcome that challenge of capital?
First, we are lucky that the government promised to give us 2 billion each year. They gave us for 210. Of course, there is a delay in 11, but the promise is there. We are waiting for them to give us the 2 billion. But again, we said instead of waiting for the government, we need to sell shares, especially to women. So we have started to, we have consulted the authorities to see how we could legally sell shares to the public. And I think before end of this year, we could float our shares in the market. We want to sell up to 20 billion Tanzania shillings. That will also allow us to be full commercial bank.
I guess it's a pretty compelling offer too, especially when you're saying 35% of your profits are actually helping the people at the grassroots level. So not only is it profitable, but it's an investment in changing the landscape of the economics for Tanzania.
It's true. Especially to the family level. I'm very happy because I always say, me as a managing director, I would have been very happy giving 10 billion to Susan, and I sleep very peacefully.
I would have been really happy too.
Every morning, I just look at your account and say, oh, so today, what's going on? But then I thought, no, this is going to impact only Susie and family welfare. But giving this 10 billion to, say, so if I give it to 6,000 women, if you multiply 6,000 by times 6 people in a family, how many lives are you touching? How many kids are you taking to school? How many people are you curing by paying medical bills? So this is what we are doing, and we know that's the big population. And Tanzania actually, like any other country, I think we have more women than men. So this is what we are saying. Empowering a woman is empowering the nation. And you are right, women are the ones who are contributing to a greater extent to the economy, country economy. But shame, they are being left behind. Well, we can't go back to that history. Now we are looking at the future. We want this segment to really be meaningful and empowered.
So has there been any other challenges that you've had to get the bank to the point that it is besides capital?
Yeah, thank you. Another challenge, as I noted earlier, is the ownership of assets. When you talk about the conventional banking, we get so many women also coming to ask for loans, but yet they can't give us collateral as the central bank requires to do. So either they fail to even convince their families to get the collateral, though they contributed to the building of those houses. So again, another area is the mindset. Women are still fearful. They don't have that courage to come forward and especially taking loans. So we are training. We are taking time to train, and we are training free. Everywhere we are training to make sure that we change the mindset and also encourage them to come forward. So this has given us a very good result, because when I always go to my statistics, women who are trained are doing very well, especially in loans and business. They are doing very well. So we keep on training to make sure we empower these women with information. They need information. They lack information because they are not what their network is limited. So they lack information. They need it. This is what we are giving. And we are also accepting other banks are not accepting bare plot, which is not developed, but we are taking those ones because we know so many women, if they afford to buy a land, they can't afford to have a vehicle. But if they need affordable capital, we take the land. And also we are accepting the land which is not yet titled. We accept contract, the sale contract, because we want to make it easier for women to access loan facilities. And also we are accepting government, they issue license. I don't know, there's a title deed, there's license, and there are some contracts. So we are accommodating all those because we really want to assist especially women to come up in their business, to also grow in their business.
Let's say, for instance, I have a good business idea. I have nothing.
Good.
But somehow I have a really good business idea, and the bank believes in the business idea, but I have no collateral, no deed, nothing. What would you do with me?
Join the group lending, the microfinance.
Right.
First, that will be my first thing. Otherwise, I'll always ask you to go back to your family and ask even your sister, your father, your mother to give you a property to come and mortgage, because you know what is a central bank requirement, so we can't change it. It's just something to make sure you are committed and you bring back the money. And in case of anything, the money will come back because we are still using depositors' funds. I'm applying left and right to get empowering funds, special funds. I believe if I get special funds, which will work as insurance or revolving fund, many women will get, even the good ideas will get support.
Now that the establishment of the bank has been since 99. Since then, is there anything that you would have done differently to help launch the bank in the first place?
Oh yeah. In actual fact, my dream, if I could go to whatever, is I would have mobilized shares in a different way. I wouldn't have depended on the government. I would have sold shares to able people, able companies, able business, so that whenever I'm running short of capital, I'll go back and say, please, can you pay more? Whatever. But now I can't because my hands are tied. So that's the only thing, because I could see also is retarding the growth of the bank. Yeah, we need to grow, but we can't grow because we need to attain certain levels of capital.
So there's a vote for private sector, I guess, to take advantage of getting their investment.
Definitely.
You've been in banking for a while, and when you're talking, because you opened the doors here, you were at other banks prior to this. And I read somewhere that you were stagnating, and then we're passing you. I believe that's what you said. You're surprised I found that. So tell me what you notice in the financial environment now that's changed for women like you and women managers. Has it changed?
Yeah, definitely yes. Because looking back at my history and now seeing what is happening in the future, what is coming up, I could now see many women coming up, you know, being trusted to manage big business. Before that, it was not easy because, well, this is boys' field. Many women seem not to really have that level of capacity. But now, I'm telling you, things are changing. Even when you go to the street, you could see among 10 people, at least 4 women are driving, which was not the case. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also women have proved to be very effective, trustworthy, and they want to see results. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are not really for the title, they are there for the results. It was not easy. These big titles were meant for men. And that's why, as you said, right, in 1987, when I joined the bank, one of the banks, and I was employed as a management trainee, I was promised that after 2 years of training, I'll be a manager. But it took me 7 years. But then, to my disappointment, because, okay, whatever, my fellow men who we joined the bank together, they were given managerial posts earlier before me. So then I was saying, okay, since I know why, I was not really giving up. I continued till in 1993. Imagine, from 1987 to 1993, that's when I was given managerial posts, and I was given a challenge to open a new branch, which I did very well, and I showed them women could do it, and I did it very well.
Well, congratulations, and that's why we're interviewing you. You have 52 people working for you.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest leadership challenges you have?
Maybe I should tell you, I used to manage bigger numbers than this. Mm. So maybe that's why I even find it somehow easier for me to handle a small group. This I call it small group.
Yeah.
Because I was, when I was managing director in my former bank, I was managing the whole country, all branches, all branch managers. So it was a learning ground for me. And when I was with UNDP, I was the operations manager for the country office, managing even other UN agencies. So I was managing big numbers. But when I opened this bank, of course, it was really another experience, because we didn't have enough funds. So I was the director, and again, I was the branch manager. So I'm the one who started as a branch manager before I employed the branch manager. So you can imagine, and I was managing like 16 people. It was like a supervisor, supervising almost each and everything. Sometimes I was wishing even to go to give out money as a teller, because I could see they needed my support and my training. So I trained each and everyone. And because of the skills I had in the banking industry, I could easily spot if the computer is not calculating properly. I could correct the computer. I could easily tell you, no, this interest is wrong, because I started banking manually. So I know we were calculating manually, and I could see the brain behind the computer. So, for instance, there was a time when we started fixed deposit. I can imagine you know how it operates. When it matures, this computer should stop calculating interest. But it was continuing. I spotted it. I said, no. You can't get this much on this much money. So we can, even on loans. So to me, I'm managing other stuff, especially new stuff in the banking industry. It has been a challenge, but also I'm enjoying. I naturally enjoy training. It's like capacity building. And I always imagine that when I'm not around, these people are the people who are going to make the bank flourish. So yeah.
So what are some of the techniques that you use to empower your employees to be effective?
My technique, which I've been using, I think, since when I was a manager, is delegation. I don't like micromanaging people. I give them a challenge. I want them to show or to, it's like I want to see the potentiality in them. And I always encourage everyone, when you are coming to me, don't bring a problem. Come with a problem, plus your options, your solutions. Then I'll go through your solutions and see which one we could work together. Otherwise, I don't entertain someone coming with a problem for me to solve for him. So that way they have been learning to start working on the problem before they come even to me. So they have been learning very quickly by doing that. I don't like giving solution. Even if when I know it, I don't give you. I take you back, I say, go, come with options, and we'll discuss your options.
So when somebody starts working with the bank, is there a process that they go through, to a learning process, or what do you do to make sure that they're ready to take on the values of the bank, and also make sure that they're competent and working to the standard that you want them to be?
Oh, thank you. That's a very good question, and it's a very challenging part of management, because interviews, we try to give them both written and oral. We give many big number written tests, and we only call the ones who pass mark on written. Then we interview them orally, and then from that also we choose the number we are looking for. That's one, because we need to know if they can write reports, and also they could talk, communicate. Recruiting, I normally give at least 2 weeks of, we call it training. Yeah, we train first in a class. After that, we give them like orientation. They go to all departments, and then we see, we want them to know all functions before we dedicate them to a unit. So that way they could also be able to answer customer questions, because the experience in the bank, customer ask even a driver. You are driving someone, they'll start asking you banking questions. So we also ask the drivers to learn, to understand basic issues, what to answer. What are your requirements for account opening? They should be able to tell. They shouldn't go back and say, so Margaret, what do I say? No. So we train each and everyone so that they are comfortable, they could answer basic questions. And sometimes I give one-to-one, and we also, I appoint a focal person. Say, Susie, I know you will have some challenges somewhere, but Steve is there. You make sure you travel him so much, so that you are comfortable wherever you are. So we give them a focal person. And again, I always encourage staff that my policy is the open door policy. No one intimidates you. You know I'm here. So they know, they are very comfortable. And I also encourage staff, when they are asking for support or whatever, they write an email. We are using an email for communication. I say, if you ask once, you are not given whatever, you are not serviced, you are not supported. Twice, copy to me. Third time, copy to me. I'll handle it. Because I don't want you to be stuck because someone is not doing his responsibility. And especially for a new bank like this one, we don't have that, we have to really compete, and in order to compete, we have to be efficient and do things in a timely manner. So they know it, and even supervisors know it, that if this goes to the managing director, it won't look good, because it might even affect the assessment.
You know what's refreshing too, and you may have had this experience, but something I've been observing is often when I need assistance, be it with retail, and again, banking is retail.
Yeah.
So somebody will say, I don't know the answer, that person does. And they direct you to somebody else rather than say, I don't know the answer, but I'll find it out for you. They actually tell you to go see somebody else. So it's really refreshing that even your driver has some context to what the bank does, because there's nothing more infuriating than someone not taking ownership of the question.
Okay, since you are also a trainer, I'll tell you one thing. Some organizations, which I don't like, because I'm encouraging the spaghetti type of organization. This hierarchy, that's it. Because I've seen people say, why did you do that's my unit, my assignment. You are not supposed to do that. Then that's where you end up having people say, no, this is someone's assignment, go to our unit. I'm discouraging this because it's a very old-fashioned way of doing business. So as a customer, I always train when we are training we have our values as a bank, you know. One of the values is like you have to be like efficient, and being efficient also you have to be to give okay, it's like do it right the first time. And me as a customer, I will hate starting afresh to every time, because if I'm giving my request or my problem, I spend time explaining to you. When you send me to another person without briefing that person, you start afresh. Then, you know, it won't work. So this is what I'm telling everyone. This is a one-stop service. You come to me, I listen to your problem, I can't solve it. I have to give you an appointment or a promise. But most important is me to remember and deliver. Because if I tell you, your statement will not be ready today, come on Wednesday at this time, then you'll find it ready. It's my responsibility to remember, to make sure the statement is there. Because those are the kind of issues where customers are really disappointed. But, and also, those are the areas where we teach our staff how to retain customers. You don't always look for new customers. Most important is to retain the ones you have already. And those are the areas where you have to be very careful.
Really good insight too, because I mean we even have that problem at home where you call one person, oh, I'll put you on hold. They pass you to somebody else, oh, I can't help you, push you on hold. And if knowing that you're being dealt with and that person's going to see it through is excellent customer service. So it's wonderful to see. Now, moving on more to the personal side of leadership, what has been the most significant impact you feel you've made in your career?
Wow. First and foremost is maintaining the level of quality at home, as a family, as a mother, as a married woman, and also managing processes and people and systems. Because I grew up believing that I can do. I have never thought of any time in my lifetime saying I can't. I don't know. It's my special part of me. This drives me. And this came also when they came to ask me to support opening this bank. I came to learn so many people refused. It's not that they didn't have capacity or skills. It's maybe, I believe, they didn't believe in themselves, thinking they can do it. But when they asked me, it was very funny because even my family was against. But I said to myself, I said, do we need someone from outside to come and assist the country to open a bank? And in this case, a woman bank. And I'm here, what am I going to leave behind to my society? I had a very good job in UNDP. My salary was twice as I'm getting now. But I decided to leave that big salary. So I wanted to show even our kids, especially women, ladies, to believe in themselves. We can do it. So if I did it, someone else also can do it. And I believe I'm going to get to inspire a lot of women, especially our young ones, young professionals. Sometimes, especially because of culture, most of women in Africa, they wait to be spotted. They don't come forward to say, I'm here. They wait to be spotted. So that's the problem. We have so many able-bodied women, but they are not known. They don't want to be known. They hide. So we are encouraging them to come forward and show that they could do it.
Good reason for Wisdom Exchange TV. Also to show that women have come forward. What is the most significant decision you've made in your career?
Accepting to open a new branch in my previous bank was a big challenge. No woman have. Imagine you are a woman, you are not trusted to even manage a branch. Now you are a woman being trusted to open a new branch. So everyone was, are you going to take it? I said, yes, I'm going to take it. And I did it very well. Again, when I was in UNDP, I was the first local staff to be recruited from private sector. Again, I was the first woman to be operation manager in UNDP. So imagine, and when I joined, it was really challenging because they had a big portfolio. Not knowing their rules, it took me some time to learn their rules, but I did. I'm always looking for a creative way to do things. I'm not a person who is like doing things because I'm used to do it. Even here, my staff goes like, we wonder when we were young what was really in you, because you are now aged, but still you have very good and new ideas for the business. And I'm a risk taker, very risk taker, can't believe, even in business. And I like always to do it different, because I know we have so many banks, but what are you going to do to surprise your customers? What will make your customers stick with you is to understand them and move around it. I mean, we have regulations, but they are not cut in stone. You have to make sure you don't go outside. But so this is, I believe, this is what has always made me to be different from others.
So, with a lot of those challenges, what would be? Can you give us specifically a challenge that you had, one of the biggest challenges that you've had, and how you overcame it?
Biggest challenge which I had, I remember as a woman, a family woman, was to go and take my master's, because it was in 1994 when I decided to. I was given a new branch in 1992, 93. 1994, 1995, I decided to go for my master's, leaving behind a 3-year-old kid. But I just said to myself, if I want to aspire, I want to really be a professional director or manager, I need to be trained, I need to have skills, I need to be knowledgeable. So I left my family. I left my new branch, which was doing very well, and all my friends were laughing, saying, you are a manager, what are you looking for? But believe me, so when I came back, I was given promotion to be a director for the bank. It's because I had masters already. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given me that post. And I inspired so many women in the bank to go for masters, which to me was a plus.
Now, have you ever done an initiative that hasn't worked? What was it? How did you overcome it, and what would you do differently?
A very recent example, I wanted to open like an off-balance sheet window for the bank. I want to have an insurance window in the bank, but the board seems They don't understand me. You are just whatever starting and you are telling. But to me, you know, we are accepting mortgage, we are accepting whatever assets, and we are looking for outsourced services to cover insurance. And for group lenders, for microfinance, we are covering all the loans. It's a lot of money. So I said, if we have a window and we become an agent for insurance, first we'll cover all our assets, our customers' assets. And we remember, you know, now it's like when your insurance is expiring, we call you, come and renew your insurance. But if we were the agents, we just renew it. So we eliminate the risk of losing the property in case of anything. So those are things I always wish I say, if the board understands what I'm trying to do, they would have said yes. But still, what I did, I collected data from the market. I also showed how much we are going to gain in terms of income for the bank. And I presented the paper first time. They were very encouraged, and I'm happy that now I'm processing to have a window to have insurance in our bank as off-balance sheet activity to cover our loans. And because of lack of other, we don't have any other branch, I thought it was good to capitalize on what is technology. I registered the bank on Vodacom. I'm using Vodacom network to make sure that my customers could transfer, deposit and cash electronically without coming to the bank. I joined ATM, Umoja Switch ATM. It is expensive to have our own, but I joined this one. I'm paying rent, but my customers could cash all over the country. And Western Union, the same I did. And now I'm trying to use telephone banking for distance, whatever. And I'm going to, we have already started, as I'm talking, we have, today I was signing a contract in Mwanza to just have an office like this one, and I'll have four staff. Those 4 staff will train and give group loans without a branch. Mm-hmm. So those are the things which... yeah.
So it sounds like all of that worked.
No, I mean, it was not easy.
Yes.
Because it was very challenging to convince the board. What makes life difficult for me is staff, skills. Mm. Because we're experiencing a big turnover in the country because of new banks coming in. So it's like every time you're getting new staff. So training these staff, bring them to the level, it has become really a challenge to me. And again, getting the right skills in the market is not easy. I'll give you an example. I'm looking for a risk manager. It's frustrating me because I'm not getting one. If I get one, it's very expensive. So now what I did, I decided I'm going to hire or to employ a new brilliant staff, and then train. Use my funds to train. That is a recent, and I'm still struggling.
Mm-hmm. Now that goes sort of to what my next question was, is the edginess insight, where something you have to do that's uncomfortable to you, but you have to continue to do it in order to be successful.
As a managing director, I depend on team. The team should work for me. I'm not working for them. So making sure they deliver what to my expectation, it has been really a challenge. So I've decided to come to time with it and train, so the pace is not as fast as I wanted. So I'm now doing it in a pace which is not mine, but I have to do that.
So you'd like things to move a lot faster than they actually are. Is that fair?
I like to see results quickly. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, by the way. Now, how would you define success?
Defining success in a short whatever is when I attain my plan, my goals, and even surpassing my goals. For instance, if I was targeting to attract like 200,000 customers, if I get to 300,000, then my goal is good. So it's what I planned, and if I attain it, and if I manage to even, review my goals before even the time, that's what I call success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good leader?
What makes a good leader actually is a person who could influence. If you can influence people to share your beliefs, your dreams, and make it become true, that's a good leader.
So if you had 3 leadership lessons to share to women wanting to lead, what would those be?
I want to encourage my fellow ladies, women, to come out of the shell, come out of the fear they have, trusting themselves, saying, yes, I have the skills, I can do it. And also to encourage women to believe in themselves. It's really basic. You have to believe in yourself before someone else believes in you. And also to be perseverance. I mean, don't be discouraged easily. Things happen, but most important is how you handle the situation. You have to handle it positively and overcome the challenges or the gray areas or whatever.
So what's next for you?
That's a very good question. Actually, I have started at my age. I've started to prepare myself psychologically that my retirement age is coming sooner or later. So my first wish is to have like a succession plan. Also convince my board to start now, giving me someone to start like training so that this person could take up this bank successfully. Because I did it once when I was in the other bank, and that bank is flourishing very well, and I'm so happy and pleased. So I want this bank also to grow, but we need the right people, right attitude, right skills.
I know your youngest child is 21,
Yeah.
and it's a girl.
Yeah.
Let's say she's 10 years old today. What would be your words of wisdom to her?
I don't want to say but what I would have done differently is to encourage the girl to exploit the potentialities she has, because I wouldn't have chosen any course for her, because I remember I was really pushing her to do economics, but now I'm thinking about it, I say I shouldn't, and I shouldn't done so. I would have left her to do what she thinks she enjoys most. I remember she had a dream to have her own TV station, and I still have her proposal. I challenged her, I said, sit down and write a proposal. What do you know about TV station? I still have it, and whenever I read it, I laugh. I say, I wish when I was young, if I could have the same dream like my kid.
What do you wish you were told at 10 years old?
For me, I grew up typically in African culture. I wish I was told that as a woman, I could do it without depending on anybody. That's what I wished. Someone telling me that, Margaret, you could do it. But most of the time I was pulled back saying, hey, I remember this one, maybe I have to give you a short. So when I was going for my O-level, I was in day school, and my neighbors, women, were telling their women kids, not to accompany me, saying she likes boys groups, so we don't want you to be influenced by her. So imagine, and I was feeling very bad, saying, do I need to slow down? well, thank you God, my spirit was always telling me, don't go there. Otherwise, you know, you always want to look like a good girl in the society. But yeah, so that I was wishing, saying I could even tell my other friends that don't run away from competition.
Your advice to African women, but would you like to leave them with any final words of wisdom?
For my African ladies, I should say, and I encourage them to start dreaming for independence, because where we are going, where the world is going, men are increasingly losing their status of breadwinner. Women are now increasingly taking over. So in order to take over, they need to start dreaming to own assets, dreaming to have a position in decisions. They have to make decisions. Remove the fear. Bring out your confidence. I know women are strong, and they have been strong, but they have to make others believe them by believing themselves. And remove the fear. There's nothing which women, as a woman, you can't do. You can do it. You can do it.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Well, another leading lady in Tanzania, so it's wonderful to meet so many women that are, again, changing the economic landscape for Tanzania. And with the powerful women that we are meeting, you'll definitely see changes over the next 10 years, positive ones at that. My name is Suzanne F Stevens, and I co-produce Wisdom Exchange TV alongside my husband, Michael K. Ginrich. We're traveling all over Africa, interviewing women just like Margaret, who are trailblazers, leaders of many, or pioneers. If you know a woman that we should be interviewing in your country, please do send it to info@wisdomexchangetv.com. Please keep in mind we update a new interview of a political leader, business leader, philanthropist, or educator every 2 weeks. And each interview is different with different strategies and different tactics. I want to leave you with my words of wisdom, and I'm just going to jump off the back end of Margaret's. She talked about fear, and I've always believed feel the fear and do it anyway, because you're always better on the other side of that fear. You'll discover an enhanced version of you, which we call your edginess. Thanks for joining us.